Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. It is time for some amazing posts from people who know how to write women very well, as you'll see if you don't already know the subreddit. Before we get started though, you know the drill. Let's go get hydrated. Grab something to drink, grab some water or some tea, or if you like to drink something else, go for that, and then come back. Are you hydrated? Good, let's do this. Could your gratitude, I said carefully, possibly take the form of letting me talk to her first? I'm afraid not. I've had a lot of experience getting the facts out of people. It was the wrong thing to say. Her mouth turned down at the corners again. Her bosom changed from a promise to a threat. If you'd have just said it was the wrong thing to say, her mouth turned down at the corners again. Her expression changed from a promise to a threat. It would be okay. It'd be fine. But by the way, 95% of these posts at least are gonna be about boobs having some kind of characteristic that doesn't make sense. Starting with this one, it just, if you would have said her expression, it would kind of make sense and it'd be fine, but what are you talking about, dude? Okay, I know you're reading a murder mystery, but first, boobs. The author, probably. The Midnight Club by James Patterson. Kimberly was long-legged as well, with firm sculpted breasts and a glowing tan. Her nipples were already erect. I mean, does her body even matter for what you're trying to say? Because I feel like in most cases it just kind of doesn't. But you just still feel the need to bring it up because women don't get personalities. Come on, no one wants to know about this woman's personality or her interests, what she cares about. No. We want to know she's long-legged and has firm boobs and a glowing tan because women be pretty, that's all they're good for? What? Come on. Rosie Castor was dark, thin, exotic-looking and sarcastic. She wore baggy cargo shorts and a t-shirt tied across her large breasts, which read, "You wish," independent and rebellious. Off to a strong start, I see. I said, "Still wearing those t-shirts, Rosie?" At Mediatronics, we've had some trouble about the way she dressed. "Hey, it keeps the boys awake," she said, shrugging. Because the way women dress is obviously only to appeal to men or to keep them awake or some other bullshit like that. It's definitely, everything a woman does is for men, obviously. It's never for herself because she likes those t-shirts and because honestly, if you have big enough boobs, any t-shirt is probably just gonna be tight around that area. But it's obviously not because of that. It's obviously just for men to entice them and keep them awake. Alright then. Something happened by accident. That accident was Clara Bowden. Oh no. Okay. But first, a description. Clara Bowden was beautiful in all senses except maybe by virtue of being black. The classic racism, dude. Come on. Clara Bowden was magnificently tall, black as ebony and crushed sable, with hair braided in a horseshoe that pointed up when she felt lucky, down when she didn't. That doesn't make sense. Anyways, at this moment it was up. It was hard to know whether that was significant. Oh my, okay, it keeps going and it doesn't get better. She needed no bra. She was independent, even of gravity. She wore a red halter that stopped below her bust, underneath which she wore her belly button beautifully. Really, and underneath that some very tight yellow jeans. At the end of it all were some strappy heels of light brown suede, and she came striding down the stairs on them like some kind of vision, or as it seemed to Archie when he turned to observe her, like a reared up thoroughbred. Now, as Archie understood it, in movies and the like, it is common for someone to be striking that when they walk down the stairs too. Bro, my guy. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. What is this entire description was somehow very specific but also just so vague because it probably doesn't matter to the plot at all. Is this your plot? Is there a plot? But I mean, even if we ignore the racism, this description would be bad. But adding racism on top of it doesn't help your case at all, you know, right? You're aware of that? Are you aware of that? I'm not sure. I am moving on, man. Her husband's damnable horse snorted, kicking the ground angrily as she approached. She never got along with this beast. Unlike her, it enjoyed being underneath him. Sir? My guy. How about we don't make jokes about how people have sex with their wives even though they don't enjoy it? Because that's marital rape, and you know, it's one of the things you shouldn't make jokes about for obvious reasons. What are you doing? What are you doing? And just mentioning it so casually, what are you doing? Oh my god. Why? Because also, like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's not like she doesn't get along with the horse because of this reason. Because the horse doesn't freaking know. The horse doesn't freaking care. The horse just doesn't like her because sometimes animals just don't like people, or maybe she's afraid of horses, and horses feel that. So that's why the horse, like, doesn't get along with her. What are you doing? Oh my god. Lucy, just into her 30s, wears the world's most contented grin. Her diamond cutoffs and tight from the bikini top reveal flesh as smooth and supple as a seal's. Ah yes. 2 belt hoop stretch marks on her abdomen are subtle evidence of her motherhood. Above them, her breasts are a far more obvious sign. She always teased Daniel about that, claiming they're the reason he kept this photo close. And yet, in truth, she loves the image too. She can't remember who took it, but the photographer captured something of them Lucy had always felt, yet never managed to express. Is the whole second paragraph about her boobs? And also, smooth and supple as a seal. Okay, I'll be honest, I have never touched a seal. I don't think human skin should feel or even look like a seal's skin. But the whole... what? The whole, I never managed to express something with my boobs, and I need this photograph some man probably took to recognize that I have beautiful boobs or something? Is that what we're getting at? Alright. He had wanted to expand his vocabulary, doubtless because an advertisement had convinced him that females were sexually aroused by big words. I think females, as you put it, are definitely going to be turned off immediately if you use the word females. Like, let's just... like, sure, they're biologically female, or a lot of them are, because I know y'all like to come for trans women, but I'm not here for it. But, what? I mean, men do some shit to try to get women, sure. But why can I imagine the ads? Oh god. Yeah, no, actually I don't doubt that this one is like actually something that happened, but still. It's kind of weird. It's weird. She was a goddess, 22-year-old woman, 1.67 meters, 5'6" tall, with long silky black hair that framed her delicate visage, emphasizing her light chestnut eyes and her fair skin. Her soft curves and ample bosom were so voluptuous that not even the loose adventurous clothes she wore could hide them, more than a passing cloud could eclipse the sun. She was also the only dimensional mage of her generation, which along with her beauty and noble family made her one of the most coveted maidens of the kingdom. In theory, she was supposed to be the easiest to marry, but after several bad experiences, she had become wary of both men and women. Nah, I'm not even gonna comment. I'm not even gonna comment. I'm just gonna move on. Why not? The girl stepped into the hall, closing the door behind her. arms folded self-consciously before her small high breasts. Now again, the perfect example of it really wasn't necessary. It really wasn't necessary to bring her boobs into this. We're aware, like a lot of women have boobs, and boobs come in different sizes. Why are you bringing it up? You know? We left the library and walked past the cocktails and canapes to where Leonora was welcoming her guests. London stood beside her, wearing a suit of white suede. Now and then he looked down at her as if playing with the possibility the self-obsessed woman gave to his macabre humor. Leonora clutched at his elbow. With the diamonds fixed around her eyes, she reminded me of some archaic priestess. Beneath the contour jewelry, her breasts lay like eager snakes. I mean, I get that you want to describe things as vividly as possible as an author. But again, why are we bringing her boobs into it? And secondly, if you actually try to picture these descriptions of her breasts lay like eager snakes, I'm curious what you're picturing. Where were you going with this description, you know? Because I think it's just kind of confusing. Ah yes, what else could a woman want after coming out of a coma? Beyond the Darkness, 1979. Could I please have some makeup? Yeah, because if you come out of a coma and you're in the hospital and you generally feel like shit because I don't know how long you've been in a coma, but you're definitely not gonna feel great after waking up. You're like barely conscious. So of course the first thing you're gonna worry about is looking pretty, not getting healthy. Of course. Sure. We haven't got a phone yet, Dealey said. It was really a whine. She sounded like the kind of woman who really needed a smack every second week or so to keep her tits up. Really? If the only way you can deal with someone is hitting them every 2 weeks so they do what you want them to do, instead of whining, you should stay very, very far away from them. Very far. What are you doing? Oh my god. But what the hell? Acting like women need to be hit every few weeks so they don't act up? What century do you think we live in? Not that it was like actually good in any century, but I am aware that was kind of what it was because, yeah, and also it's not like it still doesn't happen way too often, but are we really going to be here condoning violence for people to be their own person and not act the way you want them to be? What are you doing, mate? He's gone. Oh, Reed, I don't understand any of this. I tried to explain, darling. It was the drink they gave us. It contained a potent herb. It made us imagine the worst about each other. That's why you thought you saw me with that other girl. It's what Doom wanted you to think. It was Doom's way of toying with us, of setting us up for the kill. Reed, dearest, I've been such a fool. Not a fool, Sue. Merely a female. You couldn't have reacted differently. But we haven't time to talk, not with Dr. Doom on the loose. Ah ha ha ha, silly female, can't possibly understand anything. Ah ha. Oh my god, what the... Do I even want to know from when this comic is? Because I feel like the more recent it is, the worse it gets, because by now people should be aware that it's bullshit, but aren't, and that's why it just gets worse if it's recent. Do I want to know from when this is? Men writing string orchestra instruments, set up and repair of the double bass for optimum sound by Chuck Traeger. For the purpose of this book, I shall assume that the quality of the bass is such as to warrant any and all repairs and that the customer can afford it. Okay, whatever. I would like to add that basses are feminine creatures. They're like highly sensitive, intelligent women. If you love them gently, they will love you back. And most importantly, they do not like to feel they are predictable. So, I like that at least he's admitting that women are intelligent. The bar is solo. The bar is solo on the subreddit. It's literally buried in the ground. But anyways, at least he's admitting that women are intelligent. But then to go around assuming loving any woman will make you love them back, like women don't have their own mind and can decide if they like someone or not. And secondly, what is this? Ah yes, no, women don't like to feel predictable. Newsflash, a lot of people are very predictable, regardless of gender. Because if you start noticing patterns, because all humans are like that, right? I don't even know. She looks around, smiles, tosses a hag, and this time just for the sake of tossing it. And I say to myself, as I said for the first time years ago when she was hardly out of her pram, she's a flirt. She damn well knows how to flirt. She flirts with her own father. She knows when she's doing it, and it means she wants something. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna puke. My god. Ah yes. All girls flirt with their father, apparently. Or at least, some of them do. Dude. What kind of incest fetish did you let shine through in your writing? Because that's all I can hear, really. Because, yeah, kids do try to manipulate their parents when they want something. Of course they do. By being nice, or like, you know, by doing things they don't normally like to do, just to kind of, you know, manipulate their parents into getting, like, things, or if they want something special. Sure. But are you really gonna stand here and pretend like it's flirting? What the hell, dude? I extended my hand. Miss Sweetingbrand, good day to you. This is your daughter. I inquired, quite certain that it was. Her daughter looked to be in her mid-20s and was a very attractive brunette who would have captured my attention under any circumstance. The bedclothes were pulled up to just below her breasts, and above them she wore a hospital gown of the backless type, as if ready for surgery. She had on no bra, and the cool breeze flowing through A&E from the ambulance paramedic entry doors had made her nipples stand up beneath the cloth. I focused away from them and onto her face, which was a mass of bruises and small cuts. Her hair was a mess, where she had cut her head and bled profusely into it. Okay, this woman is severely injured, and in the emergency department of the hospital. And you're gonna describe her breasts. Priorities, yeah. I read a short story where a woman character always looked forward to a period because it was a reminder of her womanness. And yes, the story was in fact written by a male. I don't think you needed to say it, I think we knew. But anyways, my uterus hits the self-destruct button and tissue and blood begins falling out of my vagina. Music drops. Shania Twain was, "Let's go, girls." Okay, I get that some teenagers are really excited, or like really look forward to starting their periods, because it's gonna make them feel grown up. But trust me, they're gonna hate it. Not necessarily hate it, like some people have like very few issues with it, but trust me, no one like actually looks forward to it unless they're worried they're gonna be pregnant. Because if your period's like late, even a day, you might worry that the contraception you used failed, and then you're gonna be really happy, for a few minutes at least, that you get your period. But trust me, no one actually looks forward to their period. I mean, who does that? Come on. Bending her head, she started slapping her breasts with open hands. Beneath her sweater, which all but seemed to be concealing some firm supports, two gently swelling mounds were set to trembling ever so slightly by the brisk brushing of her hands. Shinji stared in wonder. Struck by her hands, the breasts seemed more like two small playful animals. The boy was deeply stirred by the resilient softness of their movement. First of all, what is going on? Two playful animals. Then we have a post where someone described them as like two playful puppies, which again, also just really doesn't make sense. Do you think boobs just move on their own? Alright, but who's just gonna stand there while talking to someone with their hands shoved under the sweater, just playing with their own boobs? Like in a casual conversation? Like, have you met women? Have you like talked to women? Or people in general? Like, have you been out and talked to people, or even sat in a cafe and observed how people interact? I feel like it would probably help you, you know? Because they actually know that they're in the wrong. No, doing that would be a minus. Women are emotional creatures. It's useless to talk to them using rational reasons. How much of their distortion will the man forgive? Women are constantly testing men, because they think that the degree of distortion forgiven is how much they're loved. Okay, first of all, again, I love the yes, women are emotional creatures. There's no point in explaining rational reasons to them. Bro, get a grip, literally. Second of all, because they actually know that they're in the wrong. I mean, yes, women can admit when they were wrong. Any adult should be able to admit when they're in the wrong. You know, because it happens, right? You learn more and then you realize you're in the wrong. And you acknowledge it and you move on. That's how you learn, that's how you grow. Every adult should be able to do it. But I don't think what you're calling being in the wrong here is actually being wrong. It's just you being weird and offended that women are their own people. Or are you offended that women show emotions? Because being an emotional creature who doesn't understand reason isn't being the same as having emotions and being comfortable expressing those emotions, you know? That doesn't mean you don't understand logic or rational arguments. What are you doing? And also the whole women are consistently testing men, as if all women do is to test men. What? Okay. I'm moving on. She was about 40 years old and was hurtling into middle age with a complete recklessness, actually embracing it with baggy, out-of-shape jersey, ill-fitting jeans with a flower embroidered on one knee, frizzy hair and cheap chunky jewelry. She was overweight, an earth mother, she might call herself. She had a huge pile of laundry under one arm and again, was describing any of this really necessary? Like, if you want to explain the type of person she is, that she's kind of laid back and doesn't like, or like isn't interested in making sure she's like super pretty all the time. Because honestly, if you don't, who cares? Who has the energy, really? But what? I have never heard anyone describe themselves as an Earth Mother. And I'm also really not sure if this description was even like necessarily to describe this woman. Aggressively cheerful. Ah, yes. Alright then, moving on. Male authors do tend to be obsessed with female bodies, going on and on about webbed feet and soft, insulated, wait, I'm sorry, that's male otters. I don't think male otters are that obsessed, or like animals in general are that obsessed with each other's bodies. You know, kind of looking beyond the sexual instinct of mating with each other, sure, but honestly, a lot of these descriptions just... I don't even know, man. I don't even know, but this one was just funny. This one was just funny. And to end on a super fun one, you'll see why. We're gonna go with this one, because honestly I can't take much more of this, because they repeat each other too much. But we're going to do this one last post. I couldn't really hear what they were saying, but I could tell that Mark was talking non-stop and his views on what had happened, and both Lillian and my wife were hanging on every word the entire time. Mark is a misogynist, of course, and as a result he's very popular with the weaker sex. There's nothing women find more flattering than being despised. You can see why I wanted to, I mean, honestly, if I didn't want to end this video before, I definitely want to end it now. But the whole, yes, I mean, calling Mark misogynist and then saying the weaker sex, which literally is just such a misogynist thing to say. Because, no, I mean, yeah, no, it is misogynist, but it's also just very one-dimensional, right? Because you're only being like, yes, no, men have more muscles, therefore they're stronger, right? Like, on average, sure, someone who's biologically male tends to have more muscle mass than someone who's biologically female. But just being like, yes, that's the only kind of strength. And that's why we're just gonna call this entire biological sex the weaker sex. It's still such a misogynist thing to do. Like, honestly, you're aware that you need different strengths for different type of things, right? Anyways, second of all, I'm not frustrated. Being, like, thinking that women, or anyone really, likes being despised is so dumb. Like, saying It's the same as kind of being like, ah yes, all women like love bad boys who are criminals and treat them badly. Like, no. Trust me, I think most people are gonna prefer someone who treats them well, right? So they're not gonna be like, ah yes, he's a misogynist, oh my god, he despises me, he doesn't think I'm a real person, or that I'm an equal to him, so I'm just gonna love him. Bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my god. Okay, oh my god. I'm frustrated. I feel like I need a lot to drink. Water, not alcohol, it's not that bad yet, don't worry. Honestly, I need a tall glass of water. And then I'm gonna use this energy and go to the gym, because god damn it. Oh my god. These people, I can't believe these people actually exist. That's the weird thing. Because I like reading these posts and being like, ha, that's so funny, that's so dumb. Like, no one can actually think like this, right? Or, well, apparently people like this exist. It astounds me, literally. But oh well, I guess we're kind of able to make fun of it at least. But yeah. Either way, I'm gonna go drink something now. I hope you're hydrated now as well. If not, go drink the water you got now. And then I'll be back in 3 days to remind you again.